know a couple months ago they tried to go to Taiwan on a boat, which had been successful from other people had made that journey successfully, but they were caught by the CCP officials, and now people can't contact them at all. They want to be able to have their own lawyers, but they won't allow them to do that. And yeah, they just lost contact with them, so that's why we're here.
Free Hong Kong! 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 Free Hong Kong!
Fight for freedom!
Stand with Hong Kong!
Fight for freedom!
Stand with Hong Kong!
Fight for freedom!
Stand with Hong Kong!
I think we can begin today's event. Thank you.
Well, when the coronavirus happened and came out of China, I just got very interested in like the CCP and stuff and their injustices, and I learned about all about what they've been doing since they came to power. But I don't know, the Hong Kong stuff really stuck out to me, and so I just kind of learned more and more about it, and then I started kind of coming to these events a couple months ago. The Global Day of Action on October 1st, I went to that and stuff, and it's just, I've reached out a couple times to my representatives. I just support democracy. I think that's what the world needs to flourish. I mean, I just don't want to live in a society, in a monotonous society where people's human rights are violated, and I just don't think the world can flourish.
I know this takes a lot of courage, but you were promised to have your freedom and independence, and you deserve to have your freedom and independence. And so this is the kind of thing that to be able to speak out and take a stand. I really respect it a lot. She does too.
I agree with everything you said.
We love to go to Hong Kong, and so we want to see it stay open. I really respect the courage, and I hope more people come to these things and get the word around.
Go for Hong
Or
yes,
do you work in
support Hong Kong.
Uh-huh.
I think not enough Americans know about what's going on in Hong Kong and China, and it's a shame. So I just wanted to see what they were doing.
Save Hong Kong you!
Bring them back!
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 My name is Nathan, and I come from Charlottesville, Virginia. So I came here today to support the freedom of Hong Kong. So I drove 2.5 hours to be here just to stand up and support the 12 Hong Kong youth. So I was originally born in China, and I was raised there until 17 years old. Under the brainwashing education mechanism, I was brainwashed. But then when I came to Hong Kong, I gained my Hong Kong citizenship. Everything has changed. Now I stand with Hong Kong. Now I understand the meaning of democracy and freedom. When I came to this country, this became even more clear. So I urge the government, the freedom government around the world, to stand for Hong Kong, to save 12 Hong Kong youth, to urge great sanctions against the Chinese government, which is the evilest thing in the world. Sometimes we do something, we have to pay for it. Sanctions are harmful, but then if we feel it's harmful, so we don't do sanctions against the Chinese government, then it will become even more evil. So I feel that's a necessary price that we should be paying, but also we should support the Hong Kong community to either go overseas or stand with their fighting in Hong Kong itself.
They are fighting a giant, a political and economic giant that is very scary. And they're doing it, from like a city of 7 million people up against one of the most powerful governments in the world. I couldn't even imagine what that's like. My home's Colorado, and I'd fight for my home. So I totally understand what these guys are fighting for. It's ridiculous. I am a journalism major.
Oh, okay.
So, and in fact, it was because I met these Hongkongers last summer that got me to switch my major from business to journalism, because I was so fascinated with the story, because here was something I could truly get behind. and it opened my worldview. I've learned so much about Cantonese culture. I've learned a lot about the history of Hong Kong, and I would absolutely love to go one day. But I want to go to a free Hong Kong.